Are we really going to do this video? I mean, will my audience like it or not? No, I think we skip it. We lack arguments to do it. We should do it anyway. Okay, stay tuned then and let's try. Hi there, and I hope I didn't scare you too much with the introduction. It was just an example of one of the 6 different types of customers we're going to analyze in this short video. And if you know how to deal with these 6 different characters, you will be far ahead of your competitors. So let's start with the first one. Number 1 is the indecisive customer. It's the one who lacks self-confidence. He or she always wants to think about everything, and they are very suspicious. For that reason, they often have difficulty in buying into the argument of others. How do you approach this type of customer the best way? As the biggest problem for this kind of customer is to take a decision, you need to help him or her out with that. Direct questions can help the customer in that sense. Questions like, do you think that? Would you rather blah blah blah? Will this be okay for blah blah blah? Do you want to decide on? And so on and so on. Another useful approach is to use the third party if it becomes difficult to sell an argument to the customer. Something like, many of our customers have found that. The beauty of this method is that you are not sellish, but rather refer to somebody else to sell in your argument. If the indecisive customer is a completely fragile person and feels fear to take a decision, the method of a partial decision could be the solution. It can be something like, I suggest that you start with this basic system for now, and later on you can add the rest at the pace that you prefer. Remember that whatever methods you're using, they all have the same purpose: to make it easier for the customer to take a final decision. The opposite of the indecisive customer we have as number 2 on the list, and that is the decisive customer. In the case of a decisive customer, you may very quickly come to final decision if you deal with the objections properly. But you can just as quickly lose the entire transaction if you rush things and fail to address the objections correctly. Because this type of customer will feel that he or she has the control over the situation. It's very important to all the time refer back to what the customer has stated earlier during the communication. The customer has earlier provided a number of answers and statements that relate to his or her needs or opinion, and it is important that you make use of them. Thus, the customer feels that you are basing your arguments on his or her terms and conditions. Use the BMQ method. BMQ stands for benefit, meaning, question. It could be something like, as you earlier said, you see, an online business as an attractive opportunity for you. You can work wherever you want and when you want, just a computer and an internet connection. This is the benefit. This will mean that at the same time that you have your own business with the flexibility to work entirely on your terms, you can, for example, start to travel more together with your wife. This is the meaning. Isn't this what you have had in your dreams for a long time? The final question. Applying this method correctly, it will be difficult for a decisive customer to resist your offer. To put some turbo effect on the decision process, you can use the alternative method. Do you remember the method we talked about in the previous episode, where any of the 2 alternatives will be a yes? Should we start with the basic system first, or do you prefer to go all in with the complete system? Making this question correctly and with the right timing, either alternative the customer chooses will result in a sale. Number 3 on the list, the nervous customer. This type of customer needs a lot of information and clear explanation of what your arguments mean for the prospect. The clearer the explanation of the meaning is, the more convinced the customer will be. So use the same BMQ method as in the previous example. Sometimes it could be a good idea to combine the BMQ method with the if technique. Do you remember the if technique? It could go like this. I understand and I respect your decision to wait a while for a purchase, but let me just ask you, in the case you should take a decision today, what would then be the alternative that best suits you? Applying this softly and appropriately, at least the customer will answer, and from there we are still in the game for the next play. Number 4. The aggressive customer. With this type of customer, you would be completely defeated if you didn't know enough about the prospect. This kind of customer loves to make life difficult for you, so be careful. He or she has a know-it-all attitude, asks the most questions and tends to argue in a tough way with you as a salesperson. Another characteristic is that this type of customer tends to arrive quickly at the final decision. If you are unable to link the argument to the customer's needs, he or she will quickly gain the advantage. In fact, all the different methods we have gone through in the previous episodes are applicable here. But as a golden rule, do never argue with this type of customers without using his or her own statement from earlier in the communication. Do you remember the golden customer rules? These rules are especially valid for the aggressive type of customer. Number 5, the silent customer. Says little, does not think about feeling rushed. Sometimes it can be difficult to understand his or her feelings. Finds it difficult to reach a decision and is suspicious. This type of customer needs a lot of help. In my opinion, it's one of the most complicated customers. The BMQ method combined with the alternative method is usually the best way to approach this type of customer. As this prospect doesn't talk a lot, so to say, it's important to always wait for the customer's answer when a question is made. Calm and relaxed would be the label for the method to apply in this case. You must feel that you have the customer with you all the time until the end. Number 6 on the list, the talkative customer. This customer loves to hear his or her own voice and has a great need to be respected. As a salesperson, it can be easy to lose your path, as this type of customer likes to be in command of the microphone most of the time. The prestige is of enormous importance for the talkative customer. Do not interrupt him or her too much. Try to make use of his or her speeches in a positive way. Listen actively to what the customer says and take note of the statements that you know will help you later on in the sales process. The BMQ method together with the refer to third party method works well with the talkative customer. The talkative customer often sends out purchase signals. Make use of them at an appropriate moment. This was just 6 examples of customer types. However, when you dominate these types of customers, you will probably fix the rest as well, as they represent at least 98% of all customers. If you think this video was useful, give it a thumb up. Feel free to make comments. I love all kind of input. Share the link with friends, family, colleagues, if you think they would find this content useful. If you still haven't started your own online business, click the link or banner you'll find on this page. Have a lovely day and happy selling!